everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your weekly baseball history podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Jeff. Joining me, as usual, the other half of this whole job, it's Mark A. Johnston. Mark, how you doing?
Hey, good to be here. Good to be talking baseball again.
I guess. I mean...
Well, yeah, I know things are a little rough for Oakland fans right now, but...
Jeez. Both on and off the field, huh? Yeah, I'm still watching them. I still watch a portion of the game each night. It just, comes a point usually where that halfway through I can't take it anymore.
Well, enough of that. Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah. But let's talk about some regular baseball. Let's see if I can get cheered up a little bit here. But to do that, Mark, first of all, we got to get into our BP segment because. We want to be prepared. So let's get out there and stretch. I saw a really interesting graphic about ejection rates by managers. So we all know Bobby Cox holds the major league record with 162 ejections. He managed for literally 6 decades. I mean, he managed a lot, nearly 500 games. So I was looking at some of the other names here on this graph that have a high ejection rate, more than just sheer number of ejections. So like Bobby Cox is near a .04 game. Every .04 games he's ejected was. Earl Weaver, pretty much at the same level, almost half as many games though managed as Bobby Cox. But
yeah, Earl was a little bit of a fiery guy.
Yeah, he definitely was. Leo DeRocher is more just south of the .03 mark. So, he got ejected quite a bit. I was looking for active umpires. I was looking for active managers, though. The two active managers with the highest ejection rate, both of which are higher than Earl Weaver or Bobby Cox. First of all, David Bell.
No kidding.
And then this one shouldn't come as that big a surprise because I think he's been tossed every other game so far this year, is Aaron Boone.
Yeah, Aaron likes to get into it a little.
Boy, he has not had a fun year with the umpires.
No, it's been interesting to watch, though.
Yeah, so what was really interesting about this whole map, though, is that I see down there at the very bottom with the lowest ejection rate. Not the lowest ejection rate ever. That would go to Frank Seeley, who managed 2,180 games and was never ejected.
Wow.
Never ejected. But next in line, having managed 7,755 games, is none other than our favorite Cornelius McGillicuddy Mack.
Connie Mack. Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he was ejected a single time. That whole it's 7,755 career games managed. Some of those came as a player manager, in which case this is when he was ejected. He was the player manager on the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1895, the one time he was ejected. So he wasn't even wearing a suit and a bow tie and a bowler cap when he was ejected. Right. But this is the story behind his one ejection. It was after being thrown out of the game, Connie refused to leave the field. So the umpire asked a New York City policeman to remove him, but Mack shook him off and didn't leave until a cadre, that's a word I'm putting in there, I don't know how many, of officers arrived on the scene and ushered him off the playing field. So he didn't leave without a fight.
The one ejection, he got his money's worth, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, when the cops have got to come in. Like you see that in wrestling a lot.
Right,
these cops, I'm doing the air quotes, are arresting somebody in the ring. No, this is real though. I was half expecting the cops to say, no, we're gonna let him do it. So,
that's Connie Mack. He's fine.
Yeah. So there it is. One whole ejection for Connie Mack. Mark, I play quite often the MLB The Show on, I guess I play it on PlayStation. I don't think you play this game, do you?
I don't really play video games. No.
Yeah, well, you can collect players, older players. They did a great thing with the Negro Leagues this year. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't expand on it here recently. But Jim Palmer, I've got him in my starting rotation on my Dynasty team. And they get this thing where they're going by their nicknames on some of these cards. So I have a Jim Palmer. He goes by Cakes, which is his nickname.
All right.
Yeah, because he liked to eat pancakes on the days he pitched, and baseball players are so original that they named him Cakes, nicknamed him Cakes. So
nice. Okay.
So, Wade Boggs, Chicken Man, because he ate chicken every day.
That's right.
I think it's a good thing that nobody admitted to really liking to eat Spotted Dick all the time, because that would make for a very unique nickname.
Gosh, I actually bought a canned version of Spotted Dick once just because I like the name of it.
And it's still in your cupboard?
It still is, along with my haggis.
And that chicken in a can where they stuff the whole
canned chicken.
Yeah. Well, some other interesting things I was reading about Jim Palmer is that Jim Palmer, the only pitcher to win World Series games in 3 different decades.
Oh, wow.
No, I have to assume that's still true. I mean, we're kind of at the beginning of another decade. So I don't know, maybe this article needs to be updated. I'm not sure. But he also never allowed a grand slam or back-to-back home runs in his entire career.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty impressive.
Really?
Yeah. So in 1967, this is Triple-A baseball. It's Rochester against Buffalo. This is where Palmer gave up the only grand slam of his professional career, and that was to Johnny Bench.
Well, yeah, you can't really, say too much negative about that. At least he gave it up to one of the true greats.
Yeah. And Johnny Bench also on my Diamond Dynasty team.
So, lucky.
Yeah, it's good there. But, at least he gave up the Grand Slam to a future Hall of Famer and didn't have to, nail him in a old timers game afterwards. No Pete Lecoq action going on there.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of chatting with Mr. Palmer once, and just a friendly, nice guy. He just loves to talk baseball, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, so we've gotten the Pete Lecoq and the Spotted Dick out of the way early here in this show, so that's good.
Good. We can now do this the rest of the show without worrying about that.
Yeah, now we can just get on with the regular show the rest of the way. So I've been watching, as I've said all year, I've been watching a lot of college baseball and college softball. The tournaments have been going on for the last 2 weeks. The softball World Series starts this week, and the men's World Series, I think, starts in 2 weeks. I think they've got super regionals coming up this month. I've seen a lot of, especially in softball, I've seen a lot of names that are very familiar. I was watching a Cal game, and I saw the name Aliyah Agbayani.
I know that name.
I know that name, too. That she's the daughter of Benny Agbayani.
Very nice.
I love Benny Agbayani. I remember him mainly as a Met. I think he played a couple of other teams, but from Hawaii, one of the few players from Hawaii. Also saw this one. I saw her play for 3 games because it was against the University of Utah, who I was watching them. AJ Murphy. She is really good. Like you can just tell without seeing her do anything that she's very good at softball, but she is incredible. The granddaughter of Dwayne Murphy.
Okay.
So not just the daughter, but the granddaughter of Dwayne Murphy. So I thought that was pretty cool too. 2 players who I like, and their family is playing in some NCAA tournament games. Also, I was watching the SEC baseball tournament. And on their big screen, not their Jumbotron, they didn't call it the Jumbotron, thankfully, but on their big screen for their headshots, they had their headshots for each of these players put into baseball cards, specifically 1988 Topps baseball cards.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I could catch glimpses of that big screen out there while I was watching it, and that amused me to no end to see them do that. So congratulations to somebody being, pretty creative out there. All right, Mark, this show is debuting May 31st. I've got a couple of guys that made their debuts. Not a whole lot going on today. Back in 1973, Brian Downing made his debut. Downing leads the league in shirtless appearances on the Jeffersons. So,
yes, I remember looking that up.
We still have our crack research staff on this, but I have been told that Brian Downing might also have been on an episode of Different Strokes. This is new news to me, so we're trying to work that out. I am starting my Different Strokes rewatch podcast, though, so I'll tell you if I run across Brian Downing. But just a heads up, we're not going to talk about the episodes that stupid little redhead kid shows up.
Yeah, no, those got to go.
Yeah, if that show hadn't already jumped the shark by then, that was certainly the moment. But
right. Brian Downing, lifetime 370 on base percentage.
He's a weird guy for when he played. Just a big guy, lifted weights, led off and stole bases and walked.
He did.
He didn't look like the prototypical leadoff batter, but did those kind of things. Also making his debut today in 1988, you'll know this name, Mark. Todd Burns made his debut.
Very nice.
Yeah. Also back in 1989, Deion Sanders made his debut. Yeah, Coach Prime, I guess, is what he goes by now. I wanted to look back beyond some debuts. This has been kind of a weird day in baseball history, May 31st. First of all, back in 1996, if you watched baseball at the time, you'll remember Albert Bell breaking a double play in Milwaukee and breaking Fernando Vina's nose while doing it by sending a forearm just like shiver, like Brian Bosworth kind of.
Ouch.
Stuff. Although I guess Brian Bosworth is a defensive player, so what do I know? But let's see. Also, 1948, a left-hander from Schenectady, which was in the Canadian American League, struck out 25 batters in a 15-inning game. That pitcher's name? Tommy Lasorda.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on Tommy, but mainly, not a whole lot about his playing career, but pretty good game that he had right there. He
didn't have the longest playing career.
No, but he had a definite highlight there. I did want to mention this also. Some really big names played their final game of their career today, including Ken Griffey Jr., might have heard of him, Juan Gonzalez, Glenn Allen Hill played his final game today. Marlon Byrd. I mean, none of these are as big as Ken Griffey Jr. Mike Matheny and the Grim Reaper, Jason Grimsley.
That's cool.
Oh, and Matt Williams. How about that? Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Now, this had to have been done on purpose because I mentioned Ken Griffey Jr. played his final game in 2010 on the 31st. Ken Griffey Sr. played his final game in 91 on the 31st.
Whoa.
That had to have been done on purpose, right?
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, that had to have been. All right. Well, we'll say it was for sure then.
Okay, yeah. You heard it here, folks.
All right. So those are debuts and a couple of odd things that happened on today, May 31st, throughout baseball history. All right, Mark, let's let the ground crew come out and do their stuff. Mark, I got something I want to talk about today.
Okay.
This was literally from like a 3-sentence story I found. I managed to find enough to make it a whole topic today that hopefully will be entertaining. So, Mark, if you will, let's go back to the year 1913.
Let's do that. The Wayback Machine.
A young Mark A. Johnston, high on his 30th year of life, finds himself in Zanesville, Ohio, where the mighty New York Giants are in town to take on the local 9 in an exhibition game. Mark, I got to ask you, what were you doing in Zanesville, Ohio in 1913?
Yeah, I was, at that point, I was in computer sales, but nobody knew what they were.
Or, that's a good answer, or you may have been there because the greater Zanesville area had an abundance of unique clay and silica deposits, originally discovered in 1820, that led Zanesville to becoming home to many pottery companies.
Yeah, I was not real good at pottery. I even took a class on it in college, and Yeah, it didn't work so good. My stuff kept blowing up in the kiln. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I mean, we haven't talked about pottery a lot on this podcast for a while. Maybe we should keep it that way.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, let's stick to baseball. So Zanesville had a history of minor league baseball leading up to this game, starting way back in 1887 with the Zanesville Kickapoos, who were members of the original Ohio State League. Now, Mark, a Kickapoo to me sounds like a kind of hypoallergenic dog that people will refer to by the breed name instead of just saying, it's an all-American dog or a mutt. But this is not what a Kickapoo is. A Kickapoo are the people who are Algonquin-speaking Native Americans and indigenous Mexican tribes who originated in the region south of the Great Lakes.
Oh, okay.
The Poos, as I'm sure that they were nicknamed, played for 22 seasons, also going by the Zanesville Clay Diggers and the Zanesville Moguls, before being replaced by the Zanesville Infants in 1909. But you can only be called the Infants for a certain amount of time, right?
That makes total sense, yeah.
You kind of grow out of it. So the team went on a vision quest to determine its real new name. But in the interim, they were just, called the Infants. And okay. I wonder if anybody ever said, you got to see the infants. You got to see the baby.
You got to come see the baby.
The baby. So remember that pottery that Zanesville was famous for and all that unique dirt and mud I talked about earlier?
Yes.
Well, that all leads up to what is a great new name for the team, the Potters.
Potters, okay.
Also seems like they're pretty well set up for a Harry Potter theme night every season as well. No?
Maybe they were going for that.
Yeah, so now they are the Zanesville Potters. Zanesville, Ohio, by the way, hometown of former major leaguers and Oakland Athletics, both of them, Kirk Abbott and Jay Payton.
Okay.
The biggest name to ever play for any of these Zanesville baseball teams would probably be Sad Sam Jones, who in actuality wasn't sad. He just wore his cap down low on his head, so a local sports writer said he looked sad, and it stuck. But there are, in fact, numerous pictures of Sad Sam that you can find where he is smiling and seemingly enjoying life. He's happy.
Well, that's good to know. I was worried about that guy.
Yeah, I was too. His mental health is important to us. Sam Sad, by the way, won 3 World Series titles with the Red Sox and Yankees during his 22-year career in the big leagues. So went on from Zanesville to bigger things.
Yes, for sure.
So tragedy struck Zanesville in 1912. A deadly tornado hit the town in June. The Potters finished the season in 11th place out of 12 teams, losing out to the Akron Rubbermen, the Canton Statesmen, and the Youngstown Steelmen. So,
yeah, a lot of people lost to them, lost out on those.
Yeah, it's just a thing of, hey, what's something we do in this town, and then add men on the end of it. So
that's right. What would Tacoma be? What would we be?
The Shipmen?
Yeah.
Portman?
There you go.
Portman. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Preparing for the next season after a tough finish in a deadly tornado, the Muskegon River, not Muskegon, but the Muskingum. How about it's something with Musk and it's not Muskegon. Well, that river flooded in March and it left most of the town 27 feet underwater.
Okay, that's a real flood.
That is a real flood. 361 people lost their lives to this flood. Baseball would be played in Zanesville this year, though, and to commemorate those lost in the flood, the team changed their name from the Potters to the Zanesville Flood Sufferers.
Oh, okay.
Now,
well, again, that fits into your, this happened in this town.
Yeah. It does. Now, I was not sure that sufferers was a word, but I looked it up and it is.
Okay.
The sufferers.
The flood sufferers.
Yeah. So what the heck led me to do a story about the Zanesville Potters flood sufferers? Well, of course, it's Fred Merkle.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we've covered his bonehead play against the Cubs in 1908. We've even talked about his career because he actually had a pretty good career despite being known really only for that one play, kind of like a Bill Buckner, a real good baseball player with a long career, but will forever be known for that one play in the 1986 World Series. But Mark, maybe you were in Zanesville to watch this exhibition game as well as to get some pottery, is what I'm thinking now.
Whenever there's a ball game,
you're there.
You'll find me there.
Yeah. I'm wondering, was this maybe an exhibition game also to help raise money to rebuild from the flood and help the sufferers?
Yes, and help them to not suffer as much.
Could have been. I don't know. I didn't say in this 3-sentence article that I found. So what makes this game unique, though, and what made me want to talk about it is this. So in the 8th inning, the Giants trailing the sufferers by a run. Umpire Frank Newhouse called a batter safe at first. It was a close play. Fred Merkle not happy that this ruling went against his Giants. So Fred Merkle was not happy about this. So he got an argument with the umpire. So he and Newhouse got into an Earl Weaver type situation here where Merkle was really letting Newhouse have it. Newhouse finally had enough, took his umpire's mask off and pounded Merkle over the head with it. So much so that it drew blood from a gash on Merkle's head that was new from this.
Is it me or did people hit each other a lot more back then?
Well, I don't know because, with cell phones now you catch everything. But
That's true.
you realize, you don't see Bigfoot sightings as much anymore now that people have cell phones, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So he hit him over the head with his mask a couple of times and then ejected him from the game.
Wow. Adding insult to injury.
He wanted to get it in the official book, I guess, before he ejected him. Merkle was rightfully upset. One, for being assaulted, but also being made to bleed his own blood. So he refused to go. He said, nope. Just like Connie Mack. He said, nope.
Not going.
So Newhouse said, fine. If you don't want to leave, I will. So he called the game a forfeit, 9-0 win for the home team, and he takes off. The umpire is just like, I'm out. So Marty Hogan, the manager of the flood sufferers, says, hold up. We've still got a full house here. Mark A. Johnston is in the stands, believe it or not. We've still got some baseball to play. So the Zanesville manager umped the rest of the game, witnessing the Giants score 2 runs in the top of the 9th to put them ahead and eventually win the game 5-4. So
they got the game in. That's good.
Yeah. So to pile on an already rough year for Zanesville, the flood sufferers folded in early July, followed by the rest of the league just a week later. They closed up shop entirely, leaving the Erie Sailors with a 10.5 game lead over the second place Akron Giants, only to be lost to history just like the 1994 Expos.
Bummer.
What could have been for the flood sufferers.
They had a champion of flood sufferers.
And the Sailors, of course, they were actually the winning team. Zanesville again hosted minor league baseball from the 1930s through the 1950s, and they had clubs like the Zanesville Grays, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Indians. But no, the sufferers' legacy ended there after just 2 months, and Fred Merkle. So
right, I gotta give you credit, man. I ain't never heard of no Zanesville and no flood sufferers.
No, but I gotta find out what their hats look like.
Yeah, get a flood sufferer hat.
Is it somebody suffering?
I hope not.
Like somebody stuck on a roof with the water up to the roof and they're clinging to the chimney while they're hungry. I don't know what level of suffering they really want to portray here. We shouldn't be. 361 people did die. It's not that funny, but it is. I think, it might be a little too soon still, but we'll just make fun of the name. We'll make fun of the name. All right. So there you have it. The history of baseball in Zanesville, Ohio. And pottery.
Very nice. Now, we got to have somebody listen to the show near Zanesville, right?
Well, I'm sure we've got several that are in Zanesville.
Oh, sure.
The fingers of this show reach.
The long tendrils of two-strike noise.
Yeah, you can't really escape them. All right, so let's move on from the main segment. Let's get into the final part of the show. It's the segment that we like to call, and so we will continue to do so until we are forced to legally change it from, what is it called? Wax Pack Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Wax Pack Hero! Gonna pull a Wax Pack Hero! Don't stop in his eyes! Wax Pack Hero! On the podcast tonight!
All right, Mark, before we get underway, some this might be ground-shaking news.
Okay.
We're recording this show on a new server for myself. I've got a new computer, new setup here. First show we're recording on that. My text document with the current score is missing.
Uh-oh.
I believe I am up 1. I don't know. We'll go, but I'll have to go. But what this is going to force me to do is go back and listen to last week's show. Or no, actually, the show before that, because we had a guest last week.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, it's like, I mean, I gotta record this and then I gotta edit it. Now I gotta go back and listen again.
I know you're up 1.
Yeah, I think I'm up 1. I remember I just destroyed you last week. Like it was
ugly.
It was ugly. I had our general manager pitching at the end of the game. I mean, it was out of control. But let's move on with it. We'll just know that I'm up 1. It's like 5-4. It's early in the season, something like that. But let's go ahead and get started with today. If you're new here, let's go over the rules really quick. We're going to open up a couple of packs of baseball cards from the Wax Packs era, usually. Not today. Today, 2003, but you get the idea. What we're going to do, we're going to go through those cards. We're going to keep score. Mark is one team, I'm the other. We're going to take the Baseball Reference War of the Year of the Cards, in this case 2003, and we'll add those up. But there are a couple of additional things that can subtract or add to your total if there is anything on these players' faces. I mean glasses, flip down glasses, mustaches, eye black, teardrop tattoos, anything like that. You're going to get an extra 1/10 of a point for each of those. If they're wearing real stirrups that we can see actual sanitary socks underneath, that's an extra 1/10 of a point as well. But it's going to be a -10 if they're 2-1s, because we don't care for that so much. Awards, if they won the Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, MVP, were an All-Star, or won a Gold Glove that season, 0.5 point extra. If there is a Hall of Famer on the card, whether they're focused or not, that's going to be an extra point of war for the holder of the card as well. If Ricky Henderson or Nolan Ryan, again, Nolan Ryan retired before 2003, so this could really only go my way. If Ricky Henderson shows up in either pack, I'm going to get an extra 5 points because Ricky rules. If the player appears in the Mitchell Report or was suspended for PEDs at any point in their playing career, that's a -0.5 point right off the bat because we don't like that. If they appeared in any pop culture, TV, movies, anything like that, they're going to get a 0.5 point of war, unless they appeared in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The Simpsons, or Seinfeld, in which case they will get a whole extra point of war for that. And then, Mark, you and I, we're each going to pick a team. And much like Ricky Henderson and Nolan Ryan, my team shows up anywhere, I get a 0.5 point. Your team shows up anywhere, you get the 0.5 point. Who are you going to go with this week?
I'm going to go, I don't think I've ever taken the Marlins.
I don't think you have. I don't think I've ever taken the Rockies. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. And 2003 was the Marlins World Series championship, so I'm going to go with the Marlins.
All right. Well, Kurt Abbott, who made his debut today, was on that team. So
that's right.
At least one of them. I think he was on that one. I don't know.
He must have been. Yeah, probably.
All right. So you're going to go with the Marlins. I'm going to go with the Rockies. Let's go ahead and open up these 2003 tops and see what we get. All right. So I've got cards here in my right hand and my left hand. Mark, which one would you like?
Going left.
You're going left. All right. I'm going to have you go first. Could be good. I can see here on the top card here is pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, Kerry Wood.
Oh, yes. Kerry Wood. He was quite the pitcher.
Yeah. Also found a dead body while paddleboarding. Covered that. Rookie of the Year, 2-time All-Star. Let's see. In 2003, good news for you, All-Star year.
Good.
Overall went 14-11 with a 3.2 ERA. He had 4 complete games, 211 innings pitched, led the league with 266 strikeouts, and also led the league with 21 hit batters.
Ooh, good for him.
Yeah.
21, yeah. That's a bundle.
Yeah, led the league the year before with 16 as well. So
wow.
That was his plate. You're gonna have to earn it. Let's see, a 1.36 ERA plus for the year, and let's see, 6.1 WAR. Plus he's an all-star, so that'll be 6.6. He's wearing those pants all the way down, so nothing else is gonna help you here. But a 6.6 to start out is pretty good.
Yeah, I can live with that.
First round pick, 4th overall by the Cubs in 1995. We mentioned Rookie of the Year. Big rookie year. Had a 20 strikeout, 1 hit shutout against the Houston Astros.
Yeah, not a bad day that day.
As a rookie. That is
20 years old, I think.
Well, I mean, we've talked about the rest of this stuff. We talked about him finding a floating corpse and his bowling tournament. So yes. we've had Kerry Wood enough that he did good for you, 6.6. All right.
Take it.
Next, we get a third baseman for the Padres. I believe he also, this guy appeared in the Little League World Series. I think he won it. It's Sean Burroughs.
I think you're right.
Let's see. Sean Burroughs, first round draft pick by the San Diego Padres, 1998. Overall, he had 7 years in the big leagues, 4 of it with the Padres, and then 1 for a bunch of other teams. In 2003, his first full year in the big leagues, hit 286, 352 on base, 7 home runs, 58 RBI, 7 stolen bases, a 105 OPS plus, and a 2.0 WAR. He has got some high pants here, but he's just got solid socks on underneath, which is disappointing. So that will just be a 2.0 for you.
I'll take 2.0 from Burroughs.
Yeah, not too bad. Member of the Mariners at one point, apparently. I don't remember
just
that.
in the minors, I believe. Wow, from 2007 through 2010, he was out of baseball or in the minors.
Yeah, it looks like he came back on, he tried out several years with other teams and just never made it back to the big leagues.
Yeah, until 2011. That's impressive.
All right. So you're at 8.6. You got a manager card.
Oh, okay.
You got a manager card of somebody we've already mentioned in this podcast.
Tommy Lasorda?
It's not Tommy Lasorda in 2003. No, it was not Tommy Lasorda. Nor was it Connie Mack. It's Bobby Cox.
Oh, there you go.
Can't really give you any points here. Well, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a 1/10 of a point because he's wearing real stirrups.
There you go, Bobby.
Bobby. This is during BP. He's got a glove on. He's in the infield. Let's see. Bobby Cox, though. We mentioned all the ejections. Let's see. Overall, 29 years he managed. Overall, with a record of 2,504 wins, 2,001 losses. 4-time manager of the year, won the World Series 1 time with Atlanta in 1995, and about 1 million pennants, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Bobby is quite a well-known and successful manager. Let's just put it that way.
All right, so Bobby gave you a 1/10 of a point. You're at 8.7. Next, we've got with the Milwaukee Brewers pitcher, Nick Neubauer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar here with...
Nick Neubauer. Okay, let's see what we can find.
2 years in the big leagues. None of it in 2003 for you, unfortunately.
Nope.
Oh, and here the phonetic spelling is Neugebauer.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not aware of that. Let's see. Overall, he was a pitcher. Let's see. Oh, in 2002, he went 1-7 with a 4.72 ERA. I mean, those Brewers were awful. They were 56-106 that year, so not like he had a whole lot to work with. But
they were better than the Tigers that year.
Yeah, better than the A's this year. Overall, for a career, he has a 0.0 WAR. So
okay, it's not a negative.
Yeah, and he can say that he played big league baseball.
That's right.
Okay, next for the New York Yankees. I think we've had him before, and I remember him for the Twins more. Ron Coomer.
Sure, Coom.
Unfortunate last nickname for internet slang these days, but I doubt many people listening to this podcast need to worry about that. Let's see. Overall, Ron Coomer, 9 years in the big leagues, originally drafted by the A's, never played for them. Minnesota, of those 9 years, 6 years in Minnesota. 2003 was his final. That was with the Dodgers, 69 games, 240 batting average, 299 on base, 4 home runs, 15 RBI, and a WAR of .3.
Another non-negative.
Yeah. Let's see. He's in the Yankees uniform here, so no facial hair, and nothing's going to help you out there. So that'll just be a .3. All right. So we mentioned Ron doing some work on the Cubs broadcasts. Let's go to your next card, and you're going to like it. It's a Marlin.
Hey, there you go.
Congratulations. It's a record breaker card. It is for Luis Castillo. He hit .334 and was the Marlins batting average season leader.
Very nice.
Record breaker. I don't know. Is that just record breaking for the club?
It doesn't say.
I believe people have hit better than .334 in a season. So
yeah.
I'll double check.
Luis is from San Pedro de Macorís, like everyone else.
Now, obviously, this is not Luis Castillo, the pitcher. This is Luis Castillo. And, San Pedro de Macorís, you can't walk off the island.
You can't walk off the island.
You cannot walk off the island. Although, Luis, for a leadoff batter, he walked a good bit. Usually about the same amount as he struck out. For his career, 800 walks, 850 strikeouts. Career 368 on base. So
that's good.
Not bad, yeah. Good news for you. Beyond being a Marlin, he was an all-star this year as well and won a Gold Glove. So you're racking up the points here. He hit .314 overall, .381 on base. Let's see, 6 home runs, 39 RBI, 21 stolen bases, a 106 OPS plus. And let's see, so that's a 4.4. Let's see, you get the All-Star and Gold Glove, so that'll be a 5.4. He's a Marlin, so that will be a 5.9. He does have eye black on here, so that'll be a 6.0.
Wow.
I think I got everything for you there, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so that'll jump you up to 15 right off the bat there, before we even look to see what pop culture references, which I'm sure there are many, he has. Oh, he was the one that hit the foul ball in 2003 that Steve Bartman then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So normally we don't bring up charges and kind of laws, stuff involved with the law. But in 2019, Luis was cited on charges related to drug trafficking and money laundering, while Octavio Dotel was arrested on related charges as well. So I'm assuming that they were together, not just, they didn't just stick this in here.
They were running competing businesses.
Oh, yeah. Wow. It's like the who did Dotel pitch for the most? I know he pitched for the A's, Blue Jays. I think he pitched for the Marlins. Or maybe this was a Marlins thing. I don't know. Maybe the Marlins are making extra money on the side. I don't know. Let's see. Next we've got pitcher for the Giants, Russ Ortiz.
Kind of remember Russ Ortiz.
All right, let's see. Russ Ortiz played 12 years in the big leagues, 6 of it with the Giants, 2 with the D-backs, 2 with Atlanta, and then 1 with a bunch of other people. In 2003, good news for you, his lone all-star year.
Wow.
He went 21-7 to lead the league in wins, 381 ERA, 212 innings pitched, led the league in walks with 102, struck out 149, a 113 ERA plus. And all of that is good for a WAR of 2.2. Let's see. Nothing on this card is going to help you out, but he was an all-star, so that will be a 2.7.
I'll take that.
Oh, let's see. In high school, he was teammate of future Major League designated hitter Brad Fulmer.
Wow, there you go. It must have been a good team.
Yeah, let's say, so the teammates faced off in the 2002 World Series. Fulmer was with the Angels at that point, and in Game 6, singled off Ortiz.
Nice.
Creator, co-owner of Second Guy Golf, a clothing company. 100% of proceeds go to charity. It ran for 7 years, so
that's awesome.
Good for him. All right, 3 cards left. All right, so this is, oh boy. You're going to have a choice here. So you've got 3 people on this card. You're going to get a bonus point right off the bat because Derek Jeter is on this card and he's a Hall of Famer. This is a league leaders for American League runs scored. So you're going to get to pick from these three players for the year 2003. You've got Alfonso Soriano, A-Rod, or Derek Jeter.
Oof, boy, that's a tough call because Jeter scored a lot of runs.
You're not trying to find the league leader in runs. You're trying to find who had the highest WAR that year.
Yeah, I'm going to go with A-Rod.
Okay, I would have gone with Soriano, but maybe this is past his little spurt. But A-Rod, yada, yada. We're not going to talk a lot about him. 22 years in the big leagues. 2003, all-star year for Texas. Led the league in runs scored and home runs. 118 RBI, hit 298, 396 on base. 600 slugging. Nice. 17 stolen bases, only caught 3 times. And that is good for a 147 OPS plus. Also, league MVP. So you're going to get a lot of points here.
Very nice.
Let's see. Overall, a WAR of 8.4. Now, you get the Jeter Hall of Fame, so that'll be 9.4. MVP and Gold Glove, so that'll be 10.4. All-Star, so that'll be 10.9. And nothing else on this card is going to help you out. So a 10.9, I think, is more than enough.
Yeah, I'll take 10.9 any day of the week and twice on Sundays.
Your new favorite player.
Yes, definitely.
Let's just look for Alfonso Soriano. Let's see, in 2003, a 5.4 WAR, so half.
Yeah.
And then Derek Jeter that year, a 3.6 WAR. So you chose right. All right, you're down to 2 cards. You're at 28.6. Wow, good pack so far. You've got an the Sporting News All-Star card, outfielder for the Twins, Torrey Hunter.
And how could you not remember the great Torrey Hunter?
I remember him. I never really cared for him.
I didn't say you didn't remember him. I was just being...
He always seemed to be a little too chippy for me. I mean, I remember him yelling at an A's pitcher in a playoff game for pitching inside. Like, I think it was Sonny Gray, too. It's like, come on, bro. Let's see, 2003. Oh, first of all, Torrey played for 19 years, 12 with the Twins, 5 with the Angels, 2 with the Tigers. 2003 with the Twins, hit 250, 312 on base, 26 home runs, 102 RBI, a 98 OPS plus. And that is good for a 3.8 WAR. He did win a Gold Glove that year, so that'll be 4.3.
He won 9 straight, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess you can pencil that in. I don't see anything else there, though, so that will be a 4.3.
Wow.
First round pick by the Twins in 1993.
Makes sense.
He is the cousin of former Major League outfielder Chu Freeman. He says he thinks his mom spelled his name wrong on the paperwork after his birth and put an extra I.
Really? That's funny, actually.
All right, so you're at 32.9. You have 1 card left. You're going to, you got another league leaders card.
Wow.
Last time you got one of these, it was worth 10 points. You've got quite a choice here. You've got Sammy Sosa, Albert Pujols, or Sean Green. Jeez.
Let's go with Albert.
All right. No Hall of Fame bonus yet.
Yes.
Pujols will obviously be in the Hall of Fame, but let's see. Albert, 22 years in baseball, just retired after last season. 2003, his 3rd season in the big leagues. He was an all-star. Second in the MVP voting, led the league in runs scored, hits, and doubles, as well as batting average at .359, a .439 on base percentage. Jeez. 43 home runs, 124 RBI, 5 stolen bases. Wow, he had double figures in stolen bases 3 times in his career.
No kidding.
And for his career, 117 stolen bases, caught 43 times.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Let's see. Overall, an 8.7 WAR. He was an all-star, so that will be a 9.2. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be it on this 9.2. To go along with A-Rod, that's almost 20 points in 2 players.
Yeah, between them, yeah. Jeez.
All right. So that's a 42.1. I mean, this is a baseball history podcast, so 42, good.
I got some stats I want to throw out there real quick. It appears Pujols, when he became an American citizen, scored a perfect 100 on his citizenship test. Good for him.
I think there's 192 points possible, though.
Oh. Well, that's not exactly a perfect 100 then.
All right. So let's see. You got 42.1. I have got my work cut out for me. That's a good score.
42? Wow.
And I'm going to start out with a manager card. So that's a great way to go. I'm going to start out with Yankees manager Joe Torre. So he's got real stirrups, just like Bobby Cox. So that's all we got to do there. Point two.
There you go.
All right. Now, this guy is on our do not talk about list. So this one will be short and sweet. I think the only player in Major League history to have the initials UUU. Because I believe his middle name also starts with a U. It is Ugeth Urbina here with the Red Sox. We'll make this quick because Oogie is, I think he's in jail currently. Let's see, 2003. He played for 11 years in the big leagues, 7 with Montreal, 2 with Boston, 2 with Detroit, and then 1 with a bunch of others. In 2003, he split time between Texas and Florida, went 3-4 with a 2.8 ERA, a 166 ERA plus, and all of that together is, wow, that is worth a 3.7.
Wow.
Let's see here. Nothing on this card, though, is going to help me out. So that'll just be a 3.7. Ugeth Urbina Villarreal is his full name. But that's all we're
getting credits for originality on the UUU.
All right. So I'm at 3.8. Next, he looks weird in this uniform. And this is past his prime, unfortunately for me. Here with the Seattle Mariners, though, Ruben Sierra.
I almost forgot he played for the Mariners.
I did. If we did a Name That Tune style Ruben Sierra rift, I would have not come up with the Mariners or the Blue Jays or the White Sox or the Reds or the Twins.
So you're saying he moved around a little.
20 years in the big leagues, 10 with Texas, 5 with New York, 4 with the A's, and then a bunch of other teams I don't remember from 1 year. In 2003, he split time between the Rangers and the Yankees. Overall, he hit 270, 327 on base, 9 home runs, 43 RBI, a 93 OPS plus. That is going to equal a 0.1 in the positive.
Staying on the positive side. There you go.
All right. Next, we've got Oakland Athletic. We just talked about him a week or so ago, so we won't have to go too in depth with David Justice.
Just ice.
We did determine last time when we had him, though, we do get a half point for pop culture reference for David Justice.
That's right.
So I'll just add that right away. 14 years in the big leagues, 8 with Atlanta, 4 with Cleveland, 2 with the Yankees, 1 memorable Moneyball year with the A's. That was in 2002, unfortunately, and that was his last year. So no 2003 numbers for me for Justice. Overall, for his career, 40.6.
Wow.
All right, next we've got a pitcher here for the Brewers. Remember him with the Mets, Glendon Rusch. Rush?
Rush or Roosh? Yeah, I don't know. Rush, probably.
Yeah, let's go with
that SCH.
Glendon Big Time Rush. Let's see. Overall, Glendon, 12 years in the big leagues, 3 with the Royals, the Mets, and the Cubs, 2 with the Rockies, the Brewers, and 1 with the Padres in 2003 with Milwaukee. Oh, I like this. He went 1-12 with a 6.42 ERA. He started 19 games, appeared in 32, did have a save, and a 67 ERA plus, and that's going to equal a minus 1.2 WAR.
That's a pretty big negative.
Yeah, nothing on this card is going to help me out. Clearly taken in Maryville during spring training. Been to that stadium many times. Oh, well, look at that. He was involved in a trade that sent Benny Agbayani and Todd Zeile to the Rockies.
There you go. Full circle again.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we don't plan this out, but it pretty much works out every time. All right. Oh, wow. Well, you had Kerry Wood. I've got the other part of Chicago Heat. I've got Mark Pryor.
Very nice.
Let's see. Mark Pryor, only 5 years in the big leagues. Just too many arm problems.
Yeah, he threw a lot of innings.
Ah, boy, it's too bad because he was, when he was good, he was really good. Fortunately for me, 2003 was when he was really good. 18-6 with a 2.43 ERA. He was an all-star that year. 211 innings pitched, 245 strikeouts, a league-leading 2.47 FIP, and a 179 ERA plus. He was an all-star and a 7.4 WAR.
Wow.
To lead baseball that year.
Wow.
Jeez. So let's see. He's got the real stirrups. That'll be 7.5. And he was an all-star. So that will be an 8 for me, which would be great. But I think you're so far out in front.
I happen to run into a few league leaders.
Yeah. Let's see. Overall, drafted in the first round by the Yankees in 1998, but did not sign. Then he was drafted second overall in the first round by the Cubs in 2001.
Yeah, Pryor's a sad story because, man, when he was on, he was completely dominant.
I mean, when he and Kerry Wood were on at the same time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, I'm at 11.2. My next card, this guy's real great in the clubhouse. Carl Everett.
That's one way to put it.
Not many people have had season-ending injuries while arguing with an umpire, but Carl Everett can say that he did. Let's see, nicknames C-Rex and Jurassic Carl.
Jurassic Carl.
Is he one of these guys that didn't believe in dinosaurs?
He didn't believe in dinosaurs.
Let's see. He was a member of the 2005 Chicago White Sox that won the World Series before finishing up his career in Seattle in 2006. 2003, he split time between Texas and the White Sox. He was an all-star that year. He hit 287, 366 on base, 28 home runs, 92 RBI. And all of that is going to lead to a 2.7 WAR plus the all-star. That will be a, 2.7, 3.2. And he's got a mustache here. So that'll be a 3.3.
Yeah, you got something out of him. Most teams didn't.
First round draft pick by the Yankees in 1990. Didn't sign. Wow. The Yankees had a hard time signing their first round draft picks around that time. I mean, Pryor.
Right.
He is definitely on the new do not talk about list. And question the validity of the Apollo moon landing. So,
oh, my goodness.
I mean, when you take off from a flat Earth, how are you going to land on the moon? Doesn't make sense. All right. Next, we've got a guy. I think he played with the A's. I think he was a fan favorite for the A's. Here he is for the Tigers, Robert Fick.
I honestly, I can't say I remember Robert Fick.
No, I'm getting him confused with somebody else. I remember him. I remember he was in a brawl with the White Sox, and as he walked off the field, he flipped off the crowd, which did not go over well. Let's see. Overall, 10 years in the big leagues, 5 with Detroit, 2 with San Diego, 2 with the Nats, 1 with the Rays, 1 with Atlanta. In 2003 with Atlanta, 126 games, hit 269, 335 on base, 11 home runs, 8 RBI, 95 OPS plus. And that is good for a 0.6. He does have real stirrups on and eye black, so that'll be a 0.8.
Former child actor. Wow, an extra on Cheers. Who's the Boston Webster? I think you get some pop culture points.
Oh, and a Gatorade commercial. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give myself a half a point off that, and we're gonna have to do a little Robert Fick IMDb.
Yes, there you go.
Doesn't look like he's in here for anything other than baseball highlights. All right. Well, Rob, I know you're listening to the show. We need to get your IMDb page, beefed up a little bit here. It says as trivia that you appeared in Cheers, Who's the Boss and Webster, but yet in your credits, there's nothing there. I get maybe if he was an extra, I guess you don't get.
Yeah, they sometimes list featured extras, but an extra you can petition IMDb to be in it, but
let's do it. Let's do it. All right, I'm down to 2 cards. I'm at 15.8. Here we've got first baseman for the Red Sox wearing some good eye black, Brian Daubach.
Brian Daubach. Oh, man.
Is he one of those guys that made it to the Mariners eventually? He sounds like it. No, he didn't, though.
I don't think so.
No, yeah. Only 8 years in the big leagues. 5 with Boston, 1 with the Mets, 1 with the Fish, 1 with the White Sox. 2003 with Chicago, 95 games, 230 average, 352 on base, 6 home runs, 21 RBI, 94 OPS plus, and that is good for a WAR of 0.2, plus the eye black is 0.3, which is not really going to help me when you're sitting at 42.1.
Yeah.
That will take me up to 16.1 with 1 card left.
You really need a huge year out of this guy.
And I know you'll enjoy this this card. I'm not so much because it's not going to certainly help me, but a pitcher for the Reds, Jose Rio.
Jose Rio.
Let's see here for Jose Rio. Well, I mean, the big news here is he retired after the 2002 season.
Oops. Okay.
Overall, though, in his 14-year career, 34.9 WAR. Member of the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. Yeah. I don't know, whatever became of them, I don't know. Of course, was traded by the Yankees for Ricky Henderson in 1984. He went with Tim Burtsis, Jay Howell, Stan Javier, and Eric Plunk for Burt Bradley and some guy named Ricky Henderson.
Burt Bradley, bullpen Burt?
Is that Burt Bradley? Looks like he went to BYU, another BYU player. 1 year. Appeared in 6 games in 1983 in relief, 6.48 ERA.
He was the pitching coach when I worked for the Tacoma Tigers. Hilarious guy. We all called him Bullpen Burt.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's good. I'm glad he got to the big leagues for more than just the 6 games in 1983.
He once told me that he cussed out George Steinbrenner, and that's why he wasn't a Yankee for long.
Did he do that as a player or as a coach?
As a player.
That is probably not a smart thing to do.
That's CLM, career limiting move.
All right. So looking at the big board here, I have finished with 16.1.
Which normally isn't a bad score.
Which I think you won this week about as by a big a margin as I won the last time we played.
That was quite a pack of cards there.
Yeah, you're 42.1, much higher than my 16.1. So I believe we are tied. Like I said, I'll go back and look at the exact scores just to make sure that we're on the up and up here. But congratulations, Mark, to your victory here in Wax Packs Heroes. That's going to wrap up this edition of Wax Packs Heroes. Also going to wrap up this edition of Two Strike Noise. We appreciate it. If you want more of us, you can find us anywhere. Just Google at Two Strike Noise or look on social media for at Two Strike Noise. That is TWO Strike Noise. You can tell my dog is done. He's ready to go with this podcast. Mark, we got an email address as well.
Yes, Two Strike Noise, just like Jeff was saying, spell it out, TWO Strike Noise at gmail.com.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. We'll see you next week when we do this once again on Two Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.